Hello, hello. Is this thing on? I think it is. Yes, it is. Hello. It has been a minute, hasn't it? Oh my goodness. Let me turn my music on. There we go. All right. Oh, and let me wipe my eyes because it is summertime. And when I get hot, sometimes my eyes sting. Hi, everyone. So, it's been a while since you've seen me on this channel. I've been streaming a lot on my other channel. But today I want to edit some photos while I listen to lo-fi hip-hop Just some nice low-key streaming. I have a slew of photos I need to go through because I've actually been out and about with my camera. Hallelujah. That is no easy feat given the current state of things. But hey, we do what we can. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Wanda Lotus. I am primarily a street photographer, but I sometimes do event photography, a little bit of portrait photography, not that much. Portrait photography is one of those things that I don't spend as much time and energy on. However, I like to do street and event photography. Haven't been able to do much event photography because right around the time there would have been outdoor events, the pandemic happened. So I haven't been doing much of that. However, I have started taking my camera with me when I go out to run necessary errands. And as more information has come out about things that we can do to stay safe while we're out and about, I have taken my camera with me and made photos. And I've also been to the beach a couple of times. I'm planning to go tomorrow with my partner and with a friend. So a number of the pictures that I have made recently are at Rockaway Beach in Far Rockaway. These are from July 26th, and I have a few more to go through. Most of them I've been through already. But I thought I had uploaded all of them from my memory card, and it turns out I had not. I discovered that after I had taken my camera out on a different day, came home, plugged my memory card in to upload the new photos, and realized there were a bunch of photos from Rockaway Beach that was still on my memory card but had not been uploaded to my working hard drive or backed up to my backup drive or the cloud. Well, thank goodness I did not format my memory card before I started that second round of shooting. Let me see what there is to see. I do apologize if you tuned in when I was live a little while ago. I was experiencing technical difficulties. OBS is the streaming software I use, and it's still very new to me. I'm still learning my way around it. So I was getting some errors that I had not gotten from OBS before. And I needed a little bit of time to do some more research and troubleshoot and figure out what was going on, but I did figure it out. Thank goodness. Now I have an excellent connection with no lag, so I can get right down to the business of editing photos. I had hoped to get this little guy with some bubbles coming out of his wand, but one of the things about street photography is that you don't control the moment. You have to go with whatever the moment brings. So in this case, I made the best of what I was able to capture, and even though I didn't get any bubbles, he's still just utterly adorable, and I'm glad I got a good shot of him. I had a couple of good shots of him. In this one, it almost looks like he's looking at the bubble wand going, where are the bubbles at? What happened? He might have been, for all I know. I made these photos back on the 26th of July, so that was about a week ago. Actually, almost 2 weeks. That was 2 weeks ago now. Do I want to do anything else with this one? I might want to crop it a little more. I don't, no, not really. I still want to leave a sense of place. And if I crop it anymore, I'll lose that. If I crop it much more, that is. That little guy kind of reminds me of my nephew. He's a little bit older than him, though. My nephew is 4.5. This little guy looks like he's at least 5, might be 6. I need that to go away. My web browser is slow. Just letting Team LLFA people know that I am live. Just in case they would like to watch the stream. I should definitely let Team LLFA on Patreon know. I do have a Patreon. My name on Patreon is W Lotus. Over there, I share my most recent work, keep Team LLFA up to date with any new developments in my photography career. And send everyone a postcard with my favorite photo from the previous month and a little message on the back. So I do that once a month. If you have not yet joined my Patreon, what are you doing? No, seriously, if you've not yet joined my Patreon, head on over and join. It costs as little as $1.25 a week. Okay, I'm just about done with my notifications. And then I can get back to editing these photos. All right, all done. Now I can just sit back, relax, monitor the chat, and enjoy my photos. Let's see this one. This is another cute one. He's absolutely adorable. Excuse and the background hum you hear, it is summertime. We have the air conditioner and fans going because we do not believe in being hot. We like being warm. We don't like being hot. I'll decide later which of these two photos I like the best. I'll turn the computer audio up a bit so it'll help mask the background fan. I'll make a copy of this one and try one that's, see what it looks like when I really crop out just about everything except say the waist up or so. Coming by?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you're good. Maybe what I just needed to do was change the aspect ratio. Oh, look at that. Yes. Add a little vignetting. We'll make it super strong at first, just so that. No. Huh. Okay, I'll leave it round. Don't like that one. Don't like that one either. Exponential is better. Just need to increase the size. Vignetting doesn't have to be the super strong thing. Just a little subtle. See how subtle that is? It'll help to bring out the subject. When you make it super strong, it looks overdone, and I don't like how that looks, at least not on my photos. You know, every photographer has their own preferences. And my preference is not to use strong vignetting. So this was the original. I like this. I like this better with the aspect ratio changed. This one I made. Let me try the same thing with this one. Oh, I forgot to record. That's okay, I'll download the recording from Twitch when I'm done. Oh, I really need for this to stop hitting the mic. That is annoying. There, maybe that'll help. I hear it in my headphones, but I won't. It won't be rubbing against the mic, and that'll be a lot better. All right, so we are going to crop this one the same way. Change the aspect ratio. I want to leave people behind him. It gives a sense of place, but I want to put a little bit of space behind him. I don't want him right up against the edge of the frame. That's better. I do like that better. That's a little bit too much. There we go. It's all a matter of opinion. You should edit your photos according to what appeals to you. If you're editing them for someone else's eyes, particularly when it comes to art, portrait photography may be a little bit different because you are shooting for a client. Commercial photography is definitely different, but when it comes to fine art photography, you should edit your photos according to what fits your vision and what fits your preferences. Otherwise, it'll feel like work. And I mean, then what's the sense in doing it, you know? Ooh, we are going to be serenaded by the sultry sounds of the tenor saxophone. Thanks to my partner who's giving me the side eye for announcing that on stream. You won't be disturbing me. I see some dust on the lens that I need to take care of, but that's okay. I will take care of that. That's good. This, however, is not. So let me get rid of that. Much better. This is really contrasty because of where I was positioned. So the foreground is very dark. I'd say I don't want to use too much fill light because then that takes away some of the depth of the photo. It flattens the image. But I have space to bump the exposure up. And there's nothing in the sky to capture, so I can afford to blow out the sky. Not that much. Not that much at all. I do still want to leave some of the contrast in the background. Right, so getting rid of the fill light took care of that. Let me see how much I can get just by bumping up the exposure. And then a touch. Because I want some of the detail in the foreground, but I don't want so much that the image looks flat. I like this track. What is this? Oh, Brock Berrigan. No wonder. I love Brock Berrigan's music. I wonder if this is from his most recent album. Brock Berrigan, So in Love. I know he came out with an album. Wait, was it this summer? No way, that was on his Point Pleasant album? Can't be, because I have that album. Huh. I will need to check this out. Because I have the album, but it seems like I've never heard this. No, this is Brock Berrigan. This one I have. Oh, Midnight. Hmm. I think they mislabeled the tracks on this. I think that's what it is. Midnight Swim. Right, this is So in Love. This I've heard before because I have it. Yeah, the previous one was Midnight Swim. I wonder if I can buy that. Please pardon me while I go buy some music if possible. I think he's on Bandcamp. Bandcamp.com. So Brock Berrigan is a lo-fi hip-hop artist. I believe he's based here in New York City. And I, at some point, while listening to Chill Hop's YouTube stream, I really grew to appreciate his music. I have one of his albums. I have his Point Pleasant album. I haven't bought his other albums yet, but I have listened to them. I have streamed them. And I've bought a couple of tracks from his, what album is that? From Cadillac Mountain. All right, so where is his Midnight Swim? It doesn't say what album it's on, unless he only did it for Chill Hop. Chill Hop Music. Chill Hop Music is their own label. They feature There are a lot of different lo-fi hip hop artists. Oh, they're based out of the Netherlands. How nice. Chill hop music is, that is. Brock Berrigan is based out of New York City. So that song, Midnight Swim, was on the Chill Hops Summer Essentials 2017. Let's see if I can find. Oh, I don't think they have it. Oh, wait. Okay. They have here, spring 2017, summer 2017. Here we go. Midnight Swim. Yes, I will buy the track. And the cool thing about buying music off of Bandcamp, at least the music I've bought so far, is you choose what price you want to pay. So they give you a minimum price, and you can pay that little or you can pay more. I like to pay a little bit more. In recent years, I've really gotten into supporting independent artists. The music industry, I find, is very bland, very homogenous. Really doesn't represent me and my interests for the most part. So I prefer to give my hard-earned money to independent labels. Vol, hey, what is up? Welcome. Oh, I need to turn on my timestamps. Where is that? That's not there. Where are my timestamps? I have them on. Oh, here we go. Show timestamps. That way I can see. Let's see. How long have I? Oh, you just got here. Hey. See, I like to know that I've greeted people not long after they have come into the chat. Vol, I'm playing the stream the playlist that you sent me the link to. It is wonderful. I am currently buying a track that I heard on it. Brock Berrigan's Midnight Swim was from Chill Hop Summer 2017 Essentials. So there we go. Now that's part of my library. So what are you up to today, Vol? I'm just chilling, listening to T play the saxophone. T just started warming up now. And editing photos. I figure I'll relax and do this for a couple of hours. Oh, I really wanted this shot. This is our new normal. This is our new normal. We have to keep a distance, even at the beach. On this particular day, when we first got to the beach around 12 o'clock, I think it wasn't all that crowded. It was fairly quiet. For the most part, people were keeping their distance. As the day went on, it started to get a little bit more crowded. And by 5, when we decided we had had enough, there were, I'll just say, plenty of people on the beach. There weren't people right up on top of our spot, but it was getting too close for comfort for all of us. Trying to see how you do your thing. You're one of my favorite photographers. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. It's easy for me to forget sometimes that there are people who appreciate me who and they appreciate what I do the way I do it. It might not be the way other people do it. It might not be quote unquote ultra popular, but it's authentic and there are people who like it. And I really appreciate knowing that. Okay, I want my picture black and white, Carell. Why are you not listening to me? Disable black and white. Enable black and white. Oh, I know why. I have the wrong layer activated. Okay. Operator error. I would much rather it be operator error than a problem with my software or with my hardware. Oh, let's brighten this up a bit. Oh, Vol, you'll be so proud of me. I was having a problem yesterday while I was streaming. I kept getting an error in OBS. Was complaining about the encoder overloading, and I couldn't figure out why. So I researched it a little bit yesterday. Didn't resolve it to my liking. So I figured maybe it was just the internet because, we've been having a lot of problems ever since the storm. I know I have some friends in Connecticut who, at least as of yesterday, as far as I knew, still didn't have power. So I figured it was something to do with that. But when I started today, then I kept getting the same error. Instead of giving up, I took my time and searched until I found information about my video encoder settings that really went into detail, and I was actually able to solve the problem by changing some of my advanced encoder settings. Basically, I switched from using OBS's software encoder to using Apple's hardware encoder because hardware is faster than software. And that's just one of those things that I learned from being a digital hardware engineer. So when I made that switch, then all of the latency issues went away. And now both OBS and Twitch are very happy and they say I have an excellent connection. So when I'm through editing photos, I'll probably take a short break and then come back on my other channel and stream a little bit of The Sims. I've got a couple of interesting storylines that I have going on. I am proud of you. Very nice. Thank you. Yes, this is my new mic. I have not yet gotten the foam cover that you recommended. I will get one, well, get a few because they're very inexpensive. But yes, this is my new mic and I absolutely love it. I used it for the first time yesterday while I was streaming The Sims. One of my fellow streamers was watching and she commented that my audio was sounding amazing. I actually bought this mic on her recommendation. She was choosing a new mic for herself. It was between this one and I don't remember the other one that she mentioned, but she mentioned two different mics. So I looked at both of them and chose this one because I do want to record music at some point. And this mic gives you the choice of different patterns. So right now I'm using the omnidirectional pattern because I'm just speaking into it. If I was recording music, I would use the stereo pattern. And that would capture, a more rounded sound. But yeah, I'm learning Learning how to use this mic. I have had a little bit of a challenge figuring out how to get things running today because I use one USB port for my camera and another one for my microphone. Today I'm editing photos, so I also need my external drive. Well, my MacBook Pro only has two USB ports. I ended up using a hub, which is not recommended. So I switched it's a USB 2.0 hub. I need to buy a 3.0 hub if I can find one. But I have the webcam and my hard drive connected to the same hub. My microphone is connected to a USB port by itself, but I may switch that next time depending on what I find out when I research things. I believe video data is bigger than audio data, especially since I'm doing the audio omnidirectional. I'm not sure about that yet, but I'm going to do a little bit more research and figure out which one I can afford to have on a hub, even though Blue does not recommend you use a hub with this mic. But you got to use what you have. Unless Blue is going to buy me a new computer with a whole bunch of USB 3.0 ports, I have to make the best usage of what I have on my desk. And that means using a hub when I'm editing photos and streaming. So you're working tonight, Vol? You said that you're enjoying the last minutes of your weekend. It's a little bit brighter. That's looking better. Oh, that's a lot better. Your voice isn't as whistly and your stops and explosive as mine. I have a very whistly S and very explosive P's and B's, so when I was podcasting, I had to use them. Yeah, I've noticed that the a couple of other simmers I checked out who occasionally show their microphone in the screen were not using covers, and they don't have the explosive sounds either. But I'm being very careful about how I enunciate my words because I don't have the screen. If I had the screen, I'd be able to relax it a bit more. Okay, you know what? I want to get rid of that. That icon is in my way. There we go. Now I can fit this the way I want. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. And why was I struggling with the scroll bars when I could just do it that way? I work in the morning, but I get up at 3:55 to work out and chill out before work, so I go to bed early. Like an old person. You go to bed early like a smart person is what you mean. Plus it keeps spittle from building up in your mic. Yeah, I presume as much. And then if I leave it sitting out on the desk, it would also prevent dust buildup right on the mic, all that good stuff. It's easier to change the foam cover than it is to clean or change the mic. Straighten this, but I want to do this the easy way. That's better. I'd like to crop out that garbage can, but I don't think I'll be able to do it without ruining the composition I want. Adulting for the win. Amen. That's a little bit too much brightness. But see, the issue here is that the foreground, because of the time of day, this was around 5:30. So the sun wasn't as high in the sky. The entire foreground, since I'm standing behind a building to make this photo, the entire foreground is in shadow while the background is fully lit. So I can bump up the exposure. If I bump it up too much, then it'll completely blow out the background, which I don't want to do because I want to leave a sense of place. And if I bump the fill light up too much, it kind of flattens out the image. You don't get that nice black and white contrast. So I think this is a nice compromise between the two. I need to deepen the blacks a little bit though, because the histogram shows me that I don't have any true blacks. That's better. That might be a little bit too much. Let me zoom in. I don't want to lose all the detail in her curls. I'm going to lose some. There's no getting around that because I wasn't standing very close to her. Okay. Maybe I can bump the exposure up a touch more. Right. That I like. Okay. I'm going to remove some of the negative space underneath her car. Rule of thirds. Sticking her right in that lower there. I like that. Did I shoot this in RAW? Yes, I always shoot in RAW. I always shoot in RAW because I want to have the flexibility of being able to do a lot of adjustment if I have to. Things like getting back some of the detail in the highlights or the shadows. And if I shot in JPEG, I would be able to do some of that, but I wouldn't be able to do as much. Also being able to do temperature correction if I'm keeping the photo in color. Corel Aftershock Pro does not let you use the temperature slider for JPEGs. Now Lightroom does. At least I think it does. I could be wrong about that. I haven't used Lightroom in a couple of years now. But you can get around that by using the color sliders on one of the other panels. However, it's just so much easier to be able to use the temperature slider, and that's why I keep shooting in RAW. I don't want to lose any of the light information. For some people though, shooting in JPEG is perfectly fine if you don't intend to do a lot of editing, where you might have to recover highlights, or no, that's not what I want. If you don't think you're going to need to recover highlights or recover details in the shadows, it's perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, there's some professional photographers where all they shoot in is JPEG. So it's a matter of just understanding what you need out of your photos and working within the limitations of JPEG to get what you need. Because honestly, JPEG files are a lot smaller than RAW files. So for people who don't want to deal with very, very big files, especially if they do a lot of shooting for clients and they store their images for a very long time on their own hard drives, they might not want to have to deal with large files, because that's the more external hard drives you have to buy in order to save all of those files. Aren't they cute? I think they're adorable. So yeah, some people will say raw is the end all and be all. Other people will disagree. And I say whatever works for you is what you need to do. And that's not what some people want to hear because they want a formula. They want someone to tell them, put your camera on these settings and everything you get is going to be exactly what you want. And that's not how art works. It might work that way for certain aspects of portrait photography, certain aspects of still life, certain aspects of commercial photography even, but it's not going to work for fine art photography because everyone has their own vision or should have their own vision. If you're just copying what somebody else does, it's not really yours. That's a good starting point. It's a good way to learn what you like and don't like and to figure out what your own style is. But at some point in time, it's good to move beyond that and into having your own ideas. So when I first turn on vignetting is the darkening of the image. When I first turn on vignetting, I like to put it all the way at full strength so I can see what the size of the vignette is. What did I do with my, here we go. Turn that down a little in my ears. Okay. So when I first turn on vignetting, I turn it on full strength so I can see the size of the vignette, make sure it's where I want it to be, and then I can change the strength to be more or less. I think I'd like it a little bit. There we go. But now I can bump up the exposure just a little bit more. Because when I turn on vignetting, it also darkens the image. But it makes a difference. So this is a photo without vignetting. Everything is the same brightness. And then with vignetting, it darkens the outside just a little bit so that your eye is naturally drawn to the two little girls in the middle. This one's okay, but I like this one better. So I'm not going to edit the second one. I'm not going to edit the DJ photo either. I don't know this DJ. I just made the photo because, actually, I think I will. I can put this on my Teal Instagram. Through the Eyes of a Lotus is my event photography brand. I believe there's a link to that in the About section of my bio. So again, the background isn't really what I want, so I don't mind blowing it out a bit to bump up the exposure. What? It's 7 o'clock? How is that possible? Saturday sure does know how to fly by. No, I want to leave this color. A lot of times people who make photos of themselves and each other at various house music events, most of the time they share them in color. So those images I tend to leave. Oh, I need to answer this. Yes. We are going to the beach tomorrow. And this is my friend wanting to know if we're going. Which, oh, that reminds me, I've got some stuff that I need to get done today so I can enjoy the beach tomorrow. Okay, I will not be streaming The Sims whenever I'm done with this. I have some work to do, and I need to, I need to do grocery shopping. I'm not going to be able to do it today, I don't think, because I think the stores close around 7:30, 8 o'clock in our neighborhood. But I can do that tomorrow. What I really want to do, there's some about an hour and a half worth of work I need to get done for my job, and my day job, and I do not want that on my shoulders when I go to the beach tomorrow. So I'll do that later instead of streaming The Sims. It looks like something is missing. Oh, well, I like the colors a little bit more vibrant, but he was in the shade. Let's see if I can't. Yeah, bumping up the vibrance did help a little bit. So I'll keep that, but that'll be for my event photography brand. So, Vol, do you still do a podcast? I think I remember you mentioning it in the past, but it seems to be that it was a long time ago, like maybe a few years. Okay. So these are the shots. Now, some of them I've already shared, but some of the others I have not. And the ones that I have not shared, it was a very long time ago, like back in 2010 and 2008. Oh, okay. How long have we known each other? I don't remember. When I only had one kid, and was young. Let me see. I think I remember your youngest coming. I think. Or she had just been born. Gosh, I don't remember. Either way, it's been a while because she is nowhere near an infant. Okay, I know that I've shared these on the top row, these 5. So these other ones, I need to export. My oldest is moving to college in just a few weeks. Excuse me, who authorized this? I certainly did not. I scared. It'll be okay. It will. It'll be an adjustment for all of you, but it'll it'll work out fine. This is the one who's studying the culinary arts, right? Who's been making sure that you have a reason to use your treadmill every morning. Now I'm just checking to make sure the exports came out okay, because sometimes when Corel exports images, it doesn't do a good job. Yeah, my treadmill is my life. Okay. You and your treadmill are besties. I'm working on a new pattern to keep me from dying, but also keep me healthy. Keep you from dying from the treadmill? The treadmill is your friend, says the woman who hates working out. I don't mind being active. I just hate making a specific time to work out. And that has been a lot of, that has been part of the reason, I'll say part instead of a lot, that has been part of the reason why I've gained a lot of weight in the past few years. You know, part of it is genetics. My father's side of the family tends to run very heavy. And part of it is age. You know, I'm over 50, and as you get older, then your metabolism does slow down. I don't think my family has a very fast metabolism. But I haven't been as active as I had been, and I accept that. All right, so my exports came out fine. I don't have to worry about that. They're ready to share. Oh, wait, no, they're not. They all need keywords. So let's see. All of these are street photography. And all of them were taken at Far Rockaway. So I'll add that keyword. Excuse me. And then if I go to the one photo that I made, this is also Far Rockaway, and I need to add events. This is a house music event. I wasn't attending the event. I just happened to be walking by on our way back to the car and saw the DJ out there. I'm so glad to have caught up with you. Oh, I'm glad too. Have a good night. Sleep well. Have a great day at work tomorrow. Don't let the foolishness get you down. You know what I mean. Okay, so I can move on from my July photos now to August. So August 3rd. Oh, that's the end of the playlist. Let me find something else to listen to. That was lovely. Oh, that was from 2018. Okay. Oh, I want to listen to some Godfathers of Deep House. My people out of South Africa. I was wondering, why am I yawning? I slept well last night. It's because it's 7 o'clock. The day is winding up. I've got a few hours before I'll go to bed. Oh, here's one of their videos that I have not yet played. Okay. All right, before I start editing this group, I'm going to take a short stretch break, but I will leave. Let's turn that music off. Okay. I'll leave the music on. I'll mute my mic and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Boo. Okay. Now I've looked at these photos from the 3rd, and it looks like I've selected which ones. Yeah, I've selected which ones I want to edit. So I'll go ahead and filter just for those. This is one of my favorites. I love how I captured her with the sun highlighting her hair and her hands. That's good. That's straight. It's nice in color and in black and white. But I think I'm preferring color for this one. And I just may do muted color. This is an editing style I picked up from someone else, and I've started using it for some of my color photos just because I like the effect. It's hard for me to explain why. Maybe because it looks kind of like film. I mean, film is softer focus, so like it's not sharpened. This I can sharpen, but you know what? If I'm going to make it look more like film, I can do without the sharpening. Because film is naturally soft in a way that digital is not, and this is definitely a digital camera, not my film camera. I haven't shot with my film camera in quite some time. I like this the way it is. I wonder if I can, I can. I was going to say, I wonder if I can crop out the strap on the side. I can crop out the strap on the side. However, leaving it makes it clear she's in a public place. There's somebody else here. You can't see them, but you know that they're there by the presence of their strap, the strap on their bag. And I've lost the detail in her hair, which I don't think I had much detail in her hair to begin with. You know, because her hair is in the shadows. That brings it out a little bit more. I like that. Without sacrificing the image too much. I like this one a lot. This one is going to be most likely just on my Patreon. Actually, let me put a star on that one because I may end up using that as a future feature photo. Say that 3 times fast. Future feature photo, future feature photo. Water bottle's almost empty. I had my 50mm lens on me this day. This is Newark Penn Station's waiting room. I had wanted more of an environmental photo, but that was difficult to do with a 50mm lens. I worked with what I had though. See, how would this look in black and white? Oh, I like it in black and white. I mean, I like it in color, but I do like the black and white because it really shows the details of the architecture without color distracting from like the textures. There's a place for both color and for black and white. A lot of times I prefer black and white because I do want to focus on the image without the distraction of color. Yeah, I think I'll leave this one in black and white. I'm kind of torn. That's why I keep going back and forth between the two. But I think I will leave it in black and white. And then you can also see the reality of traveling during a pandemic. The waiting room seating is fenced off. You'll see people wearing masks, some of them with their masks around their chin, which is not where they belong, but you know. We won't get into that. We're focusing on editing the photos. I can stand to make this a little bit brighter too. Just a touch is good. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one was outside of Penn Station. This is Newark Penn Station. So there are two Pennsylvania stations in my area. There's Newark, Pennsylvania Station, and there's New York, Pennsylvania Station. New Jersey Transit travels between both of them. So I got on the train in New York, Pennsylvania Station and got off at Newark, Pennsylvania Station. We just call it Penn Station. So it's Newark Penn Station and New York Penn Station. Fun fact, I went to undergrad in Newark, New Jersey. I studied at New Jersey Institute of Technology, which is a very short subway ride away from Newark Penn Station. I don't remember how many stops. It's been a long time since I made that trip. But I would often hop on Newark subway and take the path train from Newark Penn Station into New York City. Now, the PATH train does not go to New York Penn Station. New Jersey Transit does, Amtrak does, but the PATH train goes to the World Trade Center. And back then, the Twin Towers were still standing. So I would take the PATH train from Newark Penn Station to New York City World Trade Center and get off at the Twin Towers, come up through the basement of the Twin Towers. That was long before 9/11. The terrorist attack on New York City happened after I was long out of undergrad. Actually, I was out of graduate school even. I was working and living in Syracuse, New York. But yeah, these are kind of my old stomping grounds. I didn't hang out a lot. I've always been very much a homebody. But when I did go into New York City, this was the way I went. This is another view. This is from across the street, where I could get kind of a wide view of the building, even with my 50mm lens. I carried my 50mm because it's just lighter than carrying my 24-105. That's the main reason that's my preferred lens for street photography. It's small, it's light, and it's inconspicuous. My 24-105, because it's a zoom lens, it's much more noticeable. With a 50mm lens, it's easier to make photos without drawing attention to myself. I saw my mom this day, and she asked me why I brought my camera. Because I went into New Jersey to deal with some family business, not for fun. So she asked why I brought my camera, and so I was telling her about how I do street photography and I make photos of people. So she asked me if I had anyone get angry about me making their photos, and I told her so far in all the years I've been shooting, I've only dealt with that once, and it shook me up a little bit, but I took a couple days off from shooting and then got right back to it. It helps to know that here in the United States, it is completely legal to photograph people without their consent, as long as it's in a public place where no reasonable expectation of privacy exists. Now, if someone demands that I delete their photo, chances are I would, just because there are other fish in the sea and life is too short to, basically, that's not a hill I'm willing to die on. You know, if someone really, if they see me making their photo and they don't want me to make their photo, and they say, "Oh, you need to delete that," more than likely I will. There are exceptions to every rule. If it's a situation where I'm capturing a newsworthy event, for instance, like if I just happened upon a police officer abusing someone and I made photos of that, the police do not have the legal right to confiscate my camera or demand that I delete the photos or to take possession of my camera. So in the current climate, more than likely, if it was something having to do with a police officer, I would not delete the photo. But your average person, where I'm doing street photography, they just happen to see me making their photo and they say, "Oh, I don't want my picture taken," then, I would delete the photo. There have been people who have politely asked me not to take their picture, and I won't do it because, like I said, that's not a hill I'm willing to die on. There's far too many people in the world, far too many photo opportunities in the world for me to argue with somebody or, shrug my shoulders at them not wanting their photo taken. But like I said, it is legal in the United States to photograph someone without their consent or knowledge in a public place where no reasonable expectation of privacy exists. I do have my own ethical code on top of that, so normally I do not photograph people who are homeless or people who I feel like they're in a vulnerable position, somebody panhandling or someone who appears to be mentally ill in some way, or even someone who appears to be physically ill in some way. And it's not that it's illegal to photograph them, it's just in my own heart, I would not want someone photographing me in that situation unless they were doing so to help me. So they were photographing me because they were going to share my story with people who could help me out, or they were going to say I was being attacked by the police. They were photographing me in order to bring to light the police brutality that I had been a victim of. Outside of circumstances like that, I wouldn't want someone photographing me if I was obviously mentally ill, I didn't have it all together, or if I was homeless and I was living on the street. A homeless person doesn't have much, if any, privacy anyway. Or if I was physically ill, throwing up, or if I was in an embarrassing situation, like if the wind blew, I was just walking down the street and the wind blew my dress up and showed my underwear, I wouldn't want someone to photograph me in that predicament. So my own ethics demand that I treat other people in the same way. So I avoid photographing anybody in those situations. And if I do happen to catch that, if I do decide to share the photo, I try to crop out that person or do it in a way where they can't be identified so that their privacy can be respected. I don't find capturing people's embarrassment or illness entertaining. I don't appreciate other people getting entertainment off of other people that way, so I don't make those photos myself. And that is a hill I am willing to die on. Oh, I had hoped I would be able to get this so where I could still capture some of the blue of the sky, a little bit of the clouds, but clearly get the track one sign. And this is one where muted colors would work out well. Yeah, to make it look more like film. And again, I won't sharpen this one. But I do want to straighten it a bit. Oh, goodness. Let's undo that, please. And undo that. Thank you. It's I want the RGB curve, not the green curve. Oh, you're mad at me for undoing it. I have there we go. I had the rainbow circle of doom. That's not street photography, but I will put it in my LLFA collection, my street photography collection. Now this other photo that I did, this one I don't like so much. It's too much blue. Even though maybe I need to mute the colors a little bit more. Let's correct all of these curves. I try not to, I don't want to go overboard with it. Why did I make this photo? I made this photo because I liked just how bright it was. It had been cloudy. I've been inside a lot, like a lot of us have been. But that morning, I was standing outside just admiring the blue sky, admiring the way the sky looked with these buildings. It's hard to find it interesting, mainly because the buildings, I don't have a wide angle of the buildings. It's really not giving me a sense of place. There's no view of the street. There's no view of the sidewalk. It's just this corner. I think it was more the color I was focusing on than the scene. So this is going to have to be one that's not so much for sharing. This is more of a color study than anything else. Let me bump up my vibrance. Maybe bump up the contrast too. No, I don't like that. But I don't want to completely get rid of it. This is more light study. Yeah, because what is color? Color is light at certain wavelengths. So I'll put this under light study. There's some photos I make just because the light itself captures my eye, and that's one of them. Okay, I need to refill my water bottle, so I'm going to mute my mic and go do that. I'll be right back. I forgot to turn off my webcam, but that's okay. Fortunately, I'm decently dressed. Alrighty. It's definitely going to be a black and white. That's too much straightening. Let me do this the easy way. Thank you. OBS, why are you dropping frames? Stop doing that. I do notice that I'm using a lot less CPU power now that I've changed my encoder to the Apple hardware encoder. That is a good sign. I should see a marked improvement the next time I stream The Sims 4 on my other channel, because The Sims by itself is very resource intensive. Okay, enable black and white. I'm going to keep this sign in the foreground because it helps give a sense of place. And that's a little too much on the exposure. No, I don't want to underexpose it. Let me bump this up and see. This might be one where I can stand to bump up the fill light. Well, let's see first if I can recover some of the highlights. Wait, those are the highlights. Highlight range. Here we go. Yeah, I wanted to recover some of the highlights in the roof. Bring that down halfway. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, good. No, I'm not going to use the fill light. That makes it too, let me bump up the exposure, the main exposure. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing what the issue is. The issue is this is not as in focus as I would like it to be. That's why I've lost detail. Okay, that's fine. I'm in the process of reading an article that talks about how perfect focus is not the end-all and be-all. And I've seen that as well in some exhibits, some photography exhibits I've gone to, and not just from what we would consider classical photographers, but even modern photographers, where when their image is blown up, it's obvious that it's not perfectly in focus, yet the image still made it into the exhibit. So I'm learning not to let that keep me from appreciating a good photo. If it's reasonably in focus, to the point where the message of the image is not lost, then I'll still use the photo even if it's not tack sharp. And that's the wonderful thing about fine art photography as opposed to, say, portrait photography. If you are making portraits for a paying client, they expect, and rightfully so, their portraits to be focused sharply, unless, of course, your style is soft focus, in which case they should have seen that on your website or in your brochure and realized that's what they would be getting. But except for those situations, in portrait photography, commercial photography, photos are expected to be tack sharp. In fine art photography, you have leeway because as the artist, you determine what the photo is supposed to look like. And yes, there will be people who will disagree with you about whether or not it's a good photo, and they're entitled to their opinion. However, they don't define your artistic vision. You should not let their opinions define your artistic vision. Are you creating art for them, or are you creating art for yourself? Now, if you're creating it for them, then yes, you do need to pay a lot of attention to their definition of your artistic vision. But if it is your art that you are creating with your message and with your vision, okay, thank you for your opinion, moving right along. I think I want some vignetting on this one. And I'm going to position the vignette so it highlights this father and daughter. Well, I'm assuming they're father and daughter. This adult and child. That's a more accurate way of putting it. That's without the vignette, and that's with the vignette. Subtle, but it makes a huge difference. I'll do this for about another 15 minutes, and then, like I said earlier, I have some other work I need to get done, so I will end at that point and go get my other stuff done so I can enjoy my day at the beach tomorrow. It's 7:45 now here in New York City. I'll stream until about 8, and that'll put me at the 2-hour mark, which is usually where I sign off. It's hard to believe that it's almost 8 o'clock already. But the weekends always fly by, at least for me. this was when I arrived back at New York Penn Station at the end of the day. I rode New Jersey Transit Rail from Newark Penn Station back to New York Penn Station, and now I was waiting on the subway to take me home. And even though it was, I would say, maybe 5 o'clock, what time of day was this? Oh no, it was 2:30, 2:38. It wasn't rush hour, but the subway was still fairly empty, even for Penn Station in the middle of the day. This one I like as it is. This is, this is the right word, quintessential? Let me look it up. What does quintessential mean? Yeah, this is a quintessential New York City subway street photo. A photo of someone walking down the platform on the opposite side of the track. Oh, got some lens distortion here. I can see the bend at the top of the frame in the light. Let me see if I can flatten that out. Let's do some lens correction. And this is a 50 millimeter lens. This is 500, 50 millimeter. This is a 1.8. They don't have that lens, so I'll do 1.4. It didn't really help. That's surprising. 1.2. Now it says uncalibrated lens. What does that? Okay, focal length to use for the correction. Uncalibrated lens. Learn more. Let's learn more, shall we? Oh, that requires going through the Aftershock Pro 3 manual. Uncalibrated lens. And of course, it's not going to be easy to find. Okay, I'm not going to spend time on that right now. I'll look that up off stream. But in the meantime, it's 50 millimeter 1.4. It did correct it some, and I probably need to a little straightening did the trick. Now that's interesting. Do I want to do it without the lights at the top? In theory, I do, but I'm honestly not sure. I know your eye is naturally drawn to the brightest part of a photo, so in theory, I should want to crop out everything up top, but I'm not convinced that's what I want to do. Why? Well, because it crops out some of the tiles. And I'm not convinced I want to do that. I'm also not convinced I want that tight of a crop. This kind of looks okay though. I can go with this. I'm not sure I want it over sharpened like this though. And it does look nice, but I'm concerned mainly because I cropped so much of the photo. Let me leave it like this. To the dance floor, come on. Dance floor, come on. This is another quintessential street photography shot I see a lot on social media. The silhouettes. It's really, I find silhouettes overdone. But I made the photo anyway because I find the contrast interesting. It's really a shame how dirty this part of the Bronx is. It's like people don't have much pride in the environment they live in. I know it's not theirs, it's not ours. We don't own it. Some wealthy landlords somewhere own all of this. It's not ours, but we're the ones living here. And I would like it if people took better care of it, at least while they were here. We deserve to see nice things. We deserve beauty. We deserve cleanliness. It's as though a lot of people don't not enough people seem to grasp that. This one I'm definitely leaving color. We have that beauty peeping over the fence. This is going to be my last photo because it's 7:57. I need to get some work done. I need to have some dinner. I'm hungry. This photo I made because of this smokestack off in the distance. I've been photographing this smokestack from various angles for close to a year now. And this was the first day I realized I could photograph it from a distance. I was walking home from the train station. And I said, oh, look, there's my smokestack. I'm sure this isn't the first time I captured the smokestack from this angle, but it's the first time I deliberately captured the smokestack from this angle. Every other time it would have been an accident. It just happened to be there in the scene. And there you have it. These are the photos from August 3rd. Newark Penn Station. The outside of Newark Penn Station. This is a wider angle view of the outside of Newark Penn Station. My light study, all that gorgeous blue. Inside Newark Penn Station at track 1, waiting for New Jersey Transit back to New York City Penn Station. And the track 1 sign, I really like how that came out. It's one of my favorite shots from that day. That and the young lady sitting on the train reading. Passengers about to board the train to New York, including this cute adult and child duo. If you look closely, you can see the loops of their masks around their ears. This is back in the New York City subway. The train is pulling out from the Penn Station platform. This is an express train. This is probably 3. Quintessential subway shot. Quintessential silhouette shot coming under a bridge. And this is I caught a glimpse of those over the fence. I just had to capture it. There's a fence, there's barbed wire, but there's also beauty. And last but not least, my smokestack. There you have it. So I want to thank you all very much for sitting with me for these past 2 hours while I edited photos from July 26th and August 3rd. I still have another day's worth of photos to edit, and most likely I will be making photos tomorrow because I'm going to be at the beach all day. Therefore, I need to sign off now so I can get my various stuff for home and for my day job done so I can truly relax and enjoy tomorrow with my friend and making photos. So I hope you have a wonderful evening wherever you happen to be in the world. Well, a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. Here in New York City, it is evening. And okay, I will just end here. I'm not going to do a raid this time, but thank you all for being here with me, and I will see you all next time. Be sure to follow me so that the next time I stream, you will get a notification and you will know to hop on into the chat and enjoy some nice, relaxed photo editing. See you then.